Hi guys, today I will be reviewing the Pilot Metropolitan as well as the Iroshizuku yama-guri. I just was thinking about it and I realized that before you even start watching this video, you should already know what is being reviewed, because surely it is written in the video description. If I wanted to surprise you and not put the words Pilot Metropolitan or Iroshizuku in the video description and used really random words instead, or said that I was gonna surprise you, you wouldn't have clicked this video in the first place, and this whole thing wouldn't have happened. So anyway, it's just a random thought, one of those random thoughts that I have as I am sitting quietly and peacefully and writing some really very deep thoughts. So I'm just going to put the ink aside for a second and just talk about this pen. This pen is actually the very first fountain pen that I've ever had. It cost $21.40 from Tokyo Hands, and I was just in love with this color. They have it in a wide range of colors, but this one stood out for me. Now if I open the cap, the nib that I got, I don't know if you can see, let's see if I can get it to focus. The nib that I got is the medium one, because the other nib that they have that is available is the extra fine one, and that one is way too thin for me. And if I wanted to get something so thin, I would have gotten this pen instead. This here is the Pilot G-Tech, and the nib here is also super thin, and it's really very scratchy. And this was my favorite pen as a school-going boy, and I remember using this for all of my essays. But the problem with this pen is that the moment you drop this pen, it's gone. The whole thing is gone. This nib here is so thin, and every time it drops, the nib would bend and rendering the whole pen unusable. So somewhere along the way I stopped using this pen and I went on to rollerball pens instead. So I'm just going to put this aside. But one thing I noticed is that the medium of this pen is exactly the same as the fine of this pen, the Lamy All-Star. So what I wanted actually was to get a medium and a fine nib pen, but what I actually got in the end is two fines or two medium nib pens, depending on who you're looking at. I'm gonna put this aside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this section out, and you notice that its converter is using some kind of a pump system. So where you dip the entire ink in, no, you dip the entire section, the entire nib, this section here, including the breather, into the ink bottle, and then you just press it a couple of times. 2 is enough apparently, and that creates some kind of a vacuum or a suction that would lead the ink into this reservoir here. I'm going to demonstrate that real quick for you right now. Putting the entire nib into the pool. 1, 2, 3. I think that's quite enough. Now the Iroshizuku inks are quite expensive, so I definitely would try as best as I can to not waste a single drop of it. To me, the perfect combination is a fountain pen, a nice classy looking fountain pen, and an ink that is similar to ones that are written in those old captain journals that you see from the 17s or the 1800s. And this, I feel, comes quite close. Quite close. The thing is that it's not brown enough for me, I think. I wanted something that is a little bit more brown, but this one is closer to black. But definitely you can tell that it's brown if you try to stretch the ink apart. Now, I've seen a lot of ink reviews, and the thing about a lot of the ink reviews that I watch is that sometimes the camera records the ink in a white balance that is not accurate, and also they put the ink through quite unrealistic and irrelevant tests. So what they will do is they will dip an entire cotton bud in there, and then they will color the ink, the cotton bud, in some kind of paper, and then, you know, testing it in putting it in water, in alcohol, and quite unrelatable conditions. I want to see how the ink performs in real life condition with just a normal paper, a normal pen. I don't do any drawing, I don't do any unusual stuff, right? I just write on my paper, so I don't need the ink to go through any of such tests. And this is the real world result of what you would get if you use the Iroshizuku yama-guri. From what I can see, this is brown, but not brown enough. The kind of brown that I want has a little bit of a rusty look to it, and this one here is not that rusty, it's more closer to black. I'm not going to get too technical with the ink review. I'm not going to talk about the shadiness or the shimminess or the lubrication. I'm just going to say that it is quite nice to write with. And if you want to get a brown pen that can pass off as black and use it to sign official documents and checks, I think you can get away with this color. Thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more of such review, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.